Friday, there's golf. You probably didn't know this. I forgot all about it. And then Paulie goes, hey, Barkley is going to be playing golf on Friday. And I go, so? He goes, no, he's playing with Phil and Steph and Peyton Manning, and it's TV. And I went, well, let's get Charles on. Charles joins us now. Where are you right now?
I'm in Arizona, my brother. I'm getting ready to head out for a practice round with the great Phil Mickelson.
Okay, so it's you and Phil against Peyton and Steph?
Yes.
Okay, and the stakes? Now, there are side bets on this?
There's a lot of side bets, but we've already raised a lot of money we all picked a historically black college. And we've already, I think they told me they've already raised $6 million. We're going to have to raise a lot of money for historically black colleges.
Okay, TNT will broadcast the event. It starts at 3 Eastern on Friday. How's your game, by the way?
I feel very good about my game. I'm not going to lie, Dan. And I'll tell you the truth. If I don't play great, if I don't play well, I'll be devastated because I've been practicing from 4 or 5 hours every day. I feel really good. I can't wait. And I told you I'll be totally devastated if I don't play good.
Okay, but what is good? And I tell people this, that I played with you, and I think it might have been one of the best rounds, one of the last times you had a really good round. And this was in a professional event. You know, that was a celebrity event, and you shot a 79 in Dayton, Ohio. And people go, and what did he end up with? Like you shot 79 through 15 holes or something. I said, no, Charles shot 79 that day. What are you shooting now?
Well, I haven't been worried about my score. I'm worried about hitting good shots.
Okay.
Because, clearly I got mentally paralyzed on the golf course from taking too many lessons and thinking too much and choking under pressure. I've tried to dial it back and don't worry about my score. Just keep hitting good shots, accept the bad shots, and try to concentrate harder on hitting more good shots. So to be honest with you, I haven't kept score in a year, but I'm just trying to hit a bunch of good shots.
But you talk about this, you got in your head and you took all these lessons. And if I put you on the first tee, you were different than you would be on the practice range, right? Your swing was different on the practice range as opposed to when you actually went to the first tee?
Well, Dan, it's really interesting you phrase it like that because I've actually played with players who were great in practice, and once the crowds got in, they froze up mentally. And that had never happened to me before because when I played basketball, I went to a whole nother gear when the crowd was there. That took you to a whole nother level. But for some reason, when I got on the golf course, I just choked like a dog under pressure, plain and simple. I think now I feel a lot better. I got a lot more simplistic approach to playing golf. Instead of, like I say, when I was breaking 80, I was always going to shoot between 78 and 84, always. And I made the mistake of taking lessons from, first of all, I took lessons from the best teachers in the world. And sometimes when I go to the first tee box, I hear all 10 of them talking to me at the same time. I do. I've heard all 10. I've heard Hank. I've heard Butch. I've had a bunch of local guys working with me. And now when I step on the first tee, I think about the coach I'm working with, Stan Utley, right now. I say, hey, forget everything you've heard. Just remember what Stan told you and just make a good swing.
Who's going to talk the most trash on Friday?
Peyton Manning. Peyton is amazing. Him and Steph have been killing me, first of all, I deserve it. But we're going to have a lot of fun, man. And we're going to raise a lot of money. But like I say, I think I'm going to play well. I'm going to play well.
Will you ask for advice from Mickelson?
Of course, especially on the putting green.
Yeah.
And also, when I'm watching television, you hear guys say, you can't miss it there. And obviously playing with Phil, I said, I'm going to ask him, where can I not miss the shot? And I think that's really, really important. There's no person who watched the Golf Channel more than me. I told a friend of mine one time, they could put a guy on TV and not show me his name. And I'm not talking about Dustin or Justin Thomas or Brooks Koepka or Bryce DeChambeau. I think you can put a top between 20 and 40 in the world. Don't put their name up there and I could tell you who was swinging the club. That's how much I enjoy the game.
Steph Curry's pretty good. Like he's
really good.
He's around scratch, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he's around scratch, and I don't know what Peyton's handicap is, but it's an alternate shot format. So clearly, all the pressure. I'm the wild card will be a good way to explain it. You know, Phil's gonna hit great shots. All the pressure is gonna be on me and Peyton, to be honest with you, because I know Steph is gonna play great. I know Phil is gonna play great. But when you're in an alternate shot format, like I'm the guy who's got under the most pressure.
He's Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer, TNT Inside the NBA analyst, and the event will take place at Stone Canyon Golf Club. That'll be Friday at 3 Eastern, and this will benefit historically black colleges and universities. Steph Curry is going to be in there with Peyton Manning, Phil Mickelson, of course, Charles Barkley. Are you following the NBA offseason?
Yeah, of course I am. It's been interesting. I think the Lakers got better, clearly. I tell you the team I really like they did, the Portland Trail Blazers. I think they made a couple nice additions. They got to get everybody healthy now. Yeah. You know, they didn't have Rodney Hood last year, and one of my favorite players, Zach Collins, I think going to be a stud. I love the addition of Enes Kanter. I never understand why people trade Enes Kanter. He's one of my favorite players in the league. They say, I remember it was this idiot in the NBA told me a few years ago, one of my favorite players is Tyson Chandler. And I'm talking, this is this one of these guys who don't know anything about basketball. They call it analytics. They just want to hire their son-in-law. That's what they did. All these owners want to hire their son-in-law who married their pretty daughters. These guys don't know anything about basketball. They're like, yeah, let's just shoot threes. They go in, we win. If we make them, we lose. And this guy said to me, well, I don't like Tyson Chandler. I'm like, why? They're like, all he does is play defense and rebounding. I said, those are like the two most important parts of the game. I mean, Tyson Chandler's been a great player for a long time, one of my favorite people, but it's kind of like, well, he doesn't play defense. But I said, tell you what, he can score and rebound like a mother. And you give me a guy who can score and rebound like that, he can play on my team anytime.
Yeah, and, I love what the Lakers did. I think they got better. And it was interesting that the NBA just sort of – I don't know if they realized what the Lakers were doing when the Lakers were doing it. But, you pick up Schroeder – Matthews, like they got younger, and it just feels like LeBron is loaded and ready to go for another championship.
Yeah, I think listen, Schroeder is a good he's a great backup. I think when he ran into trouble when he was starting in Atlanta, but you saw in Oklahoma City, he's a great backup. Getting Montrezl Harrell is coming off the bench. Gasol, to me, is a really good pickup. Don't forget Wes Matthews. So, but listen, all that stuff is irrelevant. You got LeBron and AD. You can, as you see, you can get 5 guys off the street, and they got guys who can really play. But like I say, I still like what the Trailblazers did. I like what the Sixers did. I like what my Phoenix Suns did. But listen, the Lakers are going to be the clear front runner for the championship.
Explain to me James Harden. He didn't want to play with Chris Paul anymore. Shipped him to Oklahoma City. He wants to play with Russell Westbrook. Now he doesn't want to stay in Houston. He turned down $50 million a year, and now he wants out of Houston. They did all of this for James Harden, and now he doesn't want to stay there. So what do you do with James Harden if you're the Rockets?
Well, they got to start over. They did that little silly thing where they put all them little munchkins out there, thought it could work. It wasn't going to work. They're like, Dan, listen, you can't put all those little guys out there and think they're going to be successful, because you got James, who's like I've said it, and people got mad when I said it. James Harden is probably the greatest offensive player. He's not Michael or Kobe, but as far as offense, James Harden is the greatest offensive player I've ever seen. You got Russell Westbrook, who, if you don't like Russell Westbrook, you don't know anything about basketball. But they put him out there like idiots with all those little guys, and they're just going to try to outshoot you. And now they're no good, and both of those guys want out. They don't want to spend the last few years of their careers as a middle-of-the-road bottom feeder. But let me tell you something. You've heard of that, what they call it, rubbernecking, when you see a car accident.
Yeah.
Listen. I want the rights. If you know how they do these following the team during the season. If the Brooklyn Nets get James Harden, I want the rights to follow that threesome around all season. That would be so amazing and fun to watch. I'm telling you, man, because I think they're gonna have those two guys already gonna have a really difficult time in New York. They both got thinner skin and flat Stanley. And you add James Harden to the mix, who wants the ball all the time. I want the developmental rights to the Brooklyn Nets with James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant. I just want to watch that fascinating experiment.
Do you think it could work?
Got zero chance of working. Zero. Because listen, two of the guys. Listen, man. There's only so many things you can do on a basketball court. When you're a great player, you can win a game offensively, defensively, rebounding, or assisting. Two of those guys just want to score, and it's not going to work. Durant, he proved that he can play some defense with the Warriors, but the other two guys are terrific offensive players, but neither one's a great defender. They're not great at passing the ball, and listen, two of the other guys going to be pissed because they're just standing around watching one of those other guys dribble. So I would love to see that experiment. That would actually make, at least while we wouldn't have to talk about Giannis not signing the max extension, which is going to be the number one story for the next year. I hope he signs with Milwaukee and don't be one of these front-running guys. I hope he battles out like the great Michael Jordan did, or the great Dirk Nowitzki did, and not try to join a super team and be like just jumping on somebody's bus.
Is there drinking going on tomorrow or Friday on the golf course?
I doubt it. I don't know anything about those three guys. I'm probably the only one who likes to drink. So no, I'm not going to drink by myself. That makes you a loser when you drink by yourself.
I think Peyton could probably get after it a little bit.
I love, Peyton. I think Peyton lost my phone number. When Tennessee was ranked in the top 25, he called me like every day, telling me he was all excited about the Auburn game. And now they've lost like 4 in a row. He lost my number when Auburn beat him down this weekend. So I just got to make sure I give him my phone number again this weekend, because when Tennessee was 2-0 in ranked, he was blowing my phone up, telling me he can't wait for the Auburn game. But they've been quiet for the last month since they lost 4 in a row.
Have fun out there on Friday, Charles, and tell Phil we said hello. Thanks for joining us. As always, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, man, happy Thanksgiving to everybody listening to the show, and especially you and your guys.
Thank you, buddy. That's Charles Barkley. That'll be coming up Friday. Stone Canyon Golf Club. That's down towards Tucson, I believe.
Yep.
It'll be Steph Curry. It'll be Phil Mickelson. It'll be Peyton Manning and Charles Barkley. TNT will broadcast the event beginning at 3 Eastern.